Hi everyone, welcome to week 4 of Microbiology 205. I told you these courses go very fast, so we're at the midterm now, so you have your midterm exam to be concerned with this week. More on that in a minute. Here, this week we're studying eukaryotic microorganisms or pathogens and viruses and prions or prions, whichever pronunciation you prefer. So I have two videos to help you understand the concepts here. The first is a link to a video describing fungi and protozoans, and the second is a link to a video by Professor Dave describing how viruses like SARS-CoV-2, that's the causative agent of COVID-19, are able to get into cells and essentially hijack cellular mechanisms to make you sick. So this week we touch on two topics. Chapter 12 is eukaryotic microorganisms. Now, when people think about microbiology and microorganisms, they generally, I think, picture in their mind bacteria. There's a whole host of other microorganisms which are eukaryotic. Remember, that means that they have a true nucleus. And they're usually much larger than bacteria, for instance, but they can still be as pathogenic and dangerous, sometimes even more so than bacteria. So organisms like fungi and protozoans, including amoeba, and even multicellular organisms like tapeworms, for some reason in the past, multicellular pathogenic organisms like tapeworms and pinworms and roundworms, even though they're large enough to be seen without a microscope, got wrapped up in this whole study of microscopic pathogenic organisms. But anyway, so you'll learn about tapeworms and those kinds of things in chapter 13 as well, and in chapter 12 as well. And then chapter 13 is viruses, virions, and prions or prions. So it's a misnomer really to call viruses and prions organisms because they're not made of cells. However, they are organic. They're essentially packets of DNA or RNA wrapped up in protein. They cannot do anything on their own. They must be taken into a host cell, and then the host cell unwraps the little protein packet, takes the DNA or the RNA, incorporates it into its own genome, and then makes copies of the virus or the prion. So that's how that works. They're very small viruses and prions. Ebola, for example, only has 7 genes. We have, 27,000 genes, so you can see the difference there. But there's a gene in there for an enzyme that then allows that your cell's genome will recognize and allows it to incorporate that genome into itself and then make copies of the virus or the prion or prion. Viruses are extremely fragile, can do nothing on their own, so they must invade a host cell. They're too small to be seen even with a standard light microscope. We can see bacteria for sure with light microscopes, but you have to use a special electron microscope to see a virus. Okay, housekeeping items for the week. Make your discussion post early in the week so you can fully engage in discussion. I say that because some of you are still waiting until Friday evening to make your post, which technically is okay. You still get credit for that. It just doesn't let you fully participate in the discussion during the week. Also, if you're going to wait until follow-up questions to your peers are perfectly fine, but I would suggest that if you're making your peer responses on Saturday evening or Sunday, don't worry about follow-up questions because by the end of the weekend, most people are done with discussion and there's not really any time to develop whatever your question is asking. So follow-up questions are good earlier in the week. If you end up doing your post on Saturday evening or Sunday, don't worry about follow-up questions. You don't get extra points for that, and nobody really has time to answer those questions or to address those issues anyway. So that's that. Topic 4, discussion post due no later than Friday, that's September 12, 11:59 p.m. GCU time. You have your microbial diversity homework and microbial diversity quiz to do. Both are due no later than Sunday, September 14th. And then there is your midterm. The midterm opened yesterday, of course, and it closes again Sunday, September 14, 11:59 p.m. There are no extensions on exams, so make sure that you get your exam done this week. I did post, as some of you noted, in week 1, I did post a midterm topics review. You'll find that in class resources. The exam covers topics 1 through 4. It's worth 150 points. And so check out that midterm topics review. It's not all inclusive by any means, but it is there to kind of help you kind of focus your study as you prepare for the exam. Okay? Any questions or concerns between now and the end of the week? Hit me up, message 804-229-7993. Use your Halo inbox. And of course, GCU campus email is a third option. All right? Have a great rest of the week. Good luck on your exam, and I'll talk to you soon.